Full-time whistle's just gone at St James's Park, and we have somehow managed to get away with a draw right at the death. Even though, despite the fact that Newcastle were by far the better team, and they created the most chances and everything, Juan Garcia was by far the busier of the two goalkeepers, and yeah, it was a pretty poor performance from us tonight. Let's get more into it. So yeah, as you can see on the screen right now, guys, of course this is only the first leg, so not really too much to worry about in that sense, but obviously it's still not ideal the way we played tonight. 1-0 draw in the end, Harvey Barnes, I mean, even before that Harvey Barnes goal in the 86th minute, Newcastle were having the better chances. I mean, look at them stats. 16 total shots, only one big chance. I refuse to believe that. That's certainly not true. But yeah, Newcastle had a lot of chances in this game, and if it weren't for Juan Garcia, I feel like we would have conceded more. Like, definitely. Yeah, Newcastle definitely had the better chances in this game, 100%. We only had, like, before the penalty, we only had, like, two clear-cut chances that we had in front of goal. In the first half, that was Fermin Lopez when he had a shot straight at Ramsdale, unfortunately. And then Lewandowski, just before he went off, he unfortunately put a shot wide. He was stretching for it, to be fair, but yeah, unfortunately that was just wide. And besides those chances, we were pretty shocking, I'm not going to lie. Very poor going forward, and of course defensively with the high line, but of course we know we're going to get tested. I feel like at points in this game, it felt like we were just aiming for a draw, like genuinely. It felt like the whole mentality was, let's just get out of here with a draw. I mean, I understand that in a way, but also at the same time, you should always be wanting to go for a win. I mean, I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but if that was the case and we were just going for the draw, then why? Like, we beat Newcastle last time we played them, so why not have that confidence to be able to go and beat them? But it is what it is at the end of the day. Yeah, looking at of course, the only real in terms of FOT mob, the only real notable thing that happened was Tonali getting yellow carded. Thankfully, we got no yellow cards for the likes of Yamal, so he won't be missing the second leg. Of course, if he got booked tonight, he would have been suspended for the second leg. But yeah, the only real concerning thing, of course, Mark Banal had to go off injured, so yeah, that's not ideal. And yeah, that it really isn't ideal. If he's out injured now, our midfield is going to be so depleted. Yeah, it's actually crazy. But yeah, other than that, I mean, of course, Harvey Barnes' goal, they got in the 86th minute, what Newcastle thought was the winner for them. Yeah, I mean, Jacob Murphy had done well to substitute. I mean, it's just shout out of anger as well, because he was terrorising our defence before he came off. But yeah, Jacob Murphy done well on the right-hand side, whips in a cross. Harvey Barnes, for some reason, is completely unmarked in the box. Terrible defending. He gets a pretty simple goal. Juan Garcia tries his best to deny it, but unfortunately, he's not Superman. So yeah, he tried his best, but yeah, Harvey Barnes put Newcastle 1-0 up, and at that point, they probably thought they'd won the game. And to be honest, they probably did deserve the win because they were by far the better team, in my opinion. But right at the death, just like literally in the final seconds of the match, Danny Olmo was breaking forward for us, and then Malik Tior fouls him in the penalty box. Referee points to the penalty spot, gives a penalty, and there was a little bit of hope. And then obviously Yamal stepped up, and of course I was a bit worried because the last time Yamal took a penalty, it actually got saved, I believe, or did he just miss? Well, either way, he scored the last penalty, so I was a bit nervous. But it was, in the end, it was an absolutely composed, amazing finish from the penalty spot. Sent Ramsdale the wrong way, and yeah, Yamal rescued us a point, literally the last kick of the game. Absolutely, well, I say rescued us a point, but got us a draw at the last second of the game. If we look at the player ratings, Juan Garcia should be higher than a 6.7. He had a much better game than that. If it weren't, like I said, if it weren't for him, we would have conceded a lot more goals. Araujo had a decent game, to be fair to him. So did Kabazi. João Martin, alright. Cancelo, not the greatest of games, but to be fair to him, he was doing somewhat alright defensively. I mean, I know defending isn't Cancelo's greatest stat, but, well, greatest thing in his locker, but he did alright, to be fair. Mark Bernal was looking alright-ish, but hopefully his injury isn't anything too serious. Of course, when Pedri was on the pitch, we did have a little bit more control, but we didn't really have much control, to be honest. It wasn't like the last game against Newcastle where Pedri and De Jong were dominating the midfield battle. It was literally just, yeah, it was just really Newcastle for the most part. But yeah, you could obviously tell the massive difference when Pedri went off the pitch. That, yeah, the difference that we have when Pedri's on the pitch versus when he's not on the pitch, night and day. Night and day. Of course, Yamal is 7.6. It wasn't even his best at games, to be brutally honest. I mean, the whole attack, very poor from all of them, I've got to be honest. But yeah, Yamal's obviously rating his rating's gone up because of him scoring the last kick of the game. Furman, I mean, he was all right, but couldn't really get into the game much. Rafinha, he had moments of pressing and good crosses, but there were other times where he took a massive heavy touch and, yeah, just kind of ruined the play. Lewandowski, playing, of course, with that mask on after fracturing his eye socket. I feel like he probably is still a bit affected by that, so maybe he should not be starting at the minute with that fractured eye socket, because surely that does... I mean, I'm no doctor or anything, but surely that affects your vision in order to be able to play football, so... Maybe Lewandowski shouldn't be on the pitch for those reasons alone. The substitutes, Rashford had a good impact when he came on. Casado, of course, came on for Dani Olmo, but obviously didn't really get to do much. Dani Olmo, of course, won us the penalty, so yeah, at least there was that. Of course, Varane came on, and so did Xavi Esport, but obviously they came on in such a late stage of the game, you can't really give them a match rating. Of course, looking at Newcastle, the standouts for them, I probably would... Defensively, for the most part, they were pretty solid. Of course, Harvey Barnes was causing a lot of problems. Adanga only a 6.1. I'm a bit surprised by that. Adanga was actually very good today for Newcastle. He was very solid on that right wing, causing us a lot of problems and whipping in a lot of crosses. But yeah, I'm surprised Joe Linton didn't get booked tonight at the amount of challenges he was putting in. Like, how he's escaped getting a yellow card is beyond me. Tonali was alright for them. Lewis Hall was actually quite good. I'll give him credit for that. Lewis Hall was actually quite exceptional, managed to deal with Lamine Yamal quite well for the most part. But yeah, of course, that means that now we take a goal. Well, it looked like we were going to be taking a loss to play against Newcastle, but thankfully, obviously next Wednesday, a week tomorrow, we'll be taking a draw to the Camp Nou, and I'm hopeful that we will be able to get over the line in that one and actually see that through, considering we'll be at home, we'll have the fans with us, and now that we've got the stage to where the Camp Nou can now have 65,000 fans in the stadium. That will obviously help as well, so hopefully that will mean that we can get over the line with an early kickoff actually next Wednesday. I didn't know that. But yeah, hopefully now that we'll be at home, we should be able to get over the line against Newcastle with basically from a clean slate, basically. But yeah, that overall, though, I would say it's a pretty poor performance from us tonight. It really was. And hopefully we can have a better performance at the weekend. Who we're playing at the weekend, I'm not so sure. If we have a look at the fixtures, we've got Sevilla. Sevilla away on... Well, not away. Sevilla at home on a Sunday. Well, early-ish kickoff on Sunday. And then, obviously, before the Newcastle second leg against Newcastle. So yeah, hopefully we can have a bit more of an improvement in these next two games. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, that's where we're going to leave this video for today, guys. Hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, feel free to give the video a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.